What if I told you that the most powerful military building on the planet, a place that controls trillions of dollars, nuclear weapons, and the fate of entire nations, has secrets so dark, so buried, that even most government officials don't know they exist? The Pentagon. You think you know what it is. A big building, military headquarters, defense. Right? Wrong. Everything you were taught about the Pentagon is either incomplete, carefully edited, or a flat-out lie. And today, we're going to tear that curtain down, layer by layer, until there's nothing left to hide behind. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at your own government the same way again. Later in this video, I'm going to show you a classified Pentagon program so secret it doesn't officially exist. No name, no budget line, no paper trail. And yet, thousands of people worked on it. Thousands collected paychecks. Thousands signed NDAs. And the American public had absolutely no idea. But first, let's start from the beginning. Most Americans picture the Pentagon like this: a giant five-sided building in Virginia, filled with generals drinking bad coffee and watching radar screens, a symbol of American strength. Transparent to Congress, accountable to the people. That's the brochure version. That's what they want you to picture. Here's what they left out. The Pentagon was built in 1941, in just 16 months, the fastest military construction project in American history. But here's what your history teacher never mentioned. It was built with over 17 miles of corridors. 17 miles. So many that new employees would get lost for days. Not hours. Days. And that was by design. Why would you design a building specifically meant to confuse the people working inside it? The official answer is efficiency. Keep each branch separate. Avoid overlap. But former insiders have a very different word for it. Compartmentalization. You only know what you need to know. You only see what you're supposed to see. The building itself is engineered to keep its own workers in the dark. That's not a side effect. That's the point. Now let's talk about money, because this is where things get truly insane. In 2001, the day before September 11th, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld stood at a podium and made an announcement that should have shaken the entire country. It should have been the front page of every newspaper. It should have triggered a national reckoning. He said, and I'm not making this up, that the Pentagon could not account for $2.3 trillion. Trillion. With a T gone. Vanished. No records. No receipts. No explanations. $2.3 trillion. Enough to give every single American a check for nearly $7,000. More money than the GDP of most countries on Earth. Just gone. The next morning, September 11th happened, and that story disappeared from every front page overnight. Every camera turned toward New York. Every headline changed. And the missing $2.3 trillion? Nobody mentioned it again. Coincidence? Maybe. But here's what makes it even stranger. The section of the Pentagon that was hit, the exact section destroyed, housed the financial analysts and auditors, the very people investigating where that missing money went. Every record, every computer, every analyst gone. I'll let you sit with that for a second. Now let's talk about the programs. Every year, the Pentagon releases a budget, hundreds of pages, billions of dollars. It looks thorough. It looks like full transparency. But buried inside that budget, every single year, is a section simply called Selected Activities. No details, no descriptions, no project names, just numbers. These are what insiders call black programs, black budgets. Over $50 billion annually going into projects that Congress cannot audit, journalists cannot investigate, and most Pentagon employees don't even know exist. We know about some of them. The F-1D stealth fighter, black program, flew for years before the public knew it was real. The U-2 spy plane, black program, flew over Soviet territory for years while the government denied it existed. Area 51, the entire facility, officially denied for decades. But those are the ones we found out about. How many programs are right now, today, are operating with your tax money, in total secrecy, with zero accountability? The Pentagon's own Inspector General admitted they cannot fully audit their own books. In fact, the Pentagon has failed every single financial audit it has ever taken. Every single one. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is the official result in government documents year after year. An organization with a $900 billion annual budget, and they literally cannot tell you where the money goes. Now, I promised you an event most Americans have never heard of. Here it is. It's 1983. The Cold War is at its absolute peak. Tensions between the US and the Soviet Union are at levels not seen since the Cuban Missile Crisis. And inside the Pentagon, a small group launches Operation Able Archer, a war simulation, a rehearsal for a nuclear conflict with the Soviet Union, designed to be realistic, designed to be convincing. It was too convincing. The simulation so perfectly mimicked an actual nuclear first strike, the communications, the troop movements, the escalation patterns, that Soviet intelligence believed it was real. Not a drill. Real. The Soviets began preparing to launch. Nuclear weapons moved to active positions. Bomber pilots placed on standby. At the highest levels, the Soviet military genuinely believed World War III had begun. We came closer to nuclear war than almost anyone realized, and the American public found out decades later, in a declassified report that received almost no mainstream coverage whatsoever. The Pentagon ran a drill so convincing it nearly ended human civilization, and decided you didn't need to know. Not for 30 years, maybe never, if that report hadn't surfaced. This wasn't a conspiracy theory. Declassified, verified, documented, and buried. And here's the question that should keep you up at night. If they ran a drill in 1983 that almost started a nuclear war, and we only found out 30 years later, what are they running right now? What operation exists today that we won't find out about until 2055? What decisions are being made in those 17 miles of corridors right now that affect your life, your safety, your future, without your knowledge and without your consent? I'm not here to tell you your government is evil. I'm asking you to ask questions. I'm asking you to demand answers, because that's what democracy is supposed to be. The Pentagon is not what your textbook said. It is not transparent. It is not accountable. It is the most powerful, most secretive, and most financially opaque organization in the history of human civilization. 2.3 trillion unaccounted for. Black budgets nobody can audit. Programs that don't officially exist. Drills that almost ended the world. A building designed to keep its own people in the dark. And all of it, every single bit, is being paid for by you. The question isn't whether secrets exist. We know they do. The real question is, how many more are there? And who decided, without asking you, that you don't deserve to know? Number 1, subscribe. Every week we go deeper into stories powerful people don't want you to find. Documented, declassified, real. Number 2, drop a comment. What was the most shocking thing you learned? The missing 2.3 trillion? The nuclear near miss of 1983? The black budgets? I read every single comment. And number 3, the next video goes way deeper, into places that make the Pentagon look like an open book. The truth is out there. It's buried, and we're going to find it. See you in the next one.